There's something special about summer in Colorado. From our vibrant cities to our charming mountain towns, time is measured at the beat of life. And no matter what beat you choose to follow, from the rush of exploring to the serenity of relaxation, new discoveries lie around every bend, new memories around every corner. Everything shines a little brighter. Colorado, come to life.
This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 2756. I Doubted Everything in My Life by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. And I'm Justin Malik, your personal narrator, reading to you every day, including holidays. And with that, let's get right to our next article and continue optimizing your life. I Doubted Everything in My Life by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. Someone wrote on Quora, I want to benefit all of humanity as much as possible, but how can I get over all the doubts I have? My response? You're going to totally fail. Your doubts are completely correct. I'm not saying this in some reverse psychology way. You're not a teenager. If you were, I would totally use reverse psychology. You're an adult with a grand and admirable ambition. You want to benefit humanity. I admire that. My waitress just poured me a cup of coffee. She benefited humanity just now. But you want to do it in a bigger way. You want to do it, as you say, as much as possible. Not just a cup of coffee for me, a cup of coffee for everyone. We are lucky, you and I, that we can want enough that we're also able to doubt enough. Want is the older brother of doubt. First we want, then we doubt that we can get what we want. So I'll tell you what I do. I wanted to start a company. I had an idea in the 90s that every company would eventually need a website. 1 million companies or more would need one. I would help all of them. So I learned how to build a web page, then a website. Then I found one customer. It was hard. I had to convince him why he needed me. I had to convince him I could do it, even though I'd never done it before. I had to find someone to help me with design while I would do programming. And I had to figure out what to charge him. Then I had to charge him. Then I had to collect. Then I had to do it. Then I had to find more people like that, and then I had to hire someone to help me. Then I had to find another programmer to help me. Then we had to find more people who wanted websites. I would call people I knew, then they would call people. I had a full-time job. I couldn't tell the people at my full-time job what I was doing, so I had to sneak around, and I had to work late at night. I found more and more people who were willing to let me do their websites. I was doubting myself every day. I'd wake up at night. What if I found no new customers? I was scared to death every day. That doubt would make me write down a list the next day, ideas of the day. More customers, more websites, what special things can I put on the websites that would convince them to let me do it? I wanted to be so unique that they would think to themselves all day long, what would James do? Because if I wasn't the one convincing them they had a problem, then chances are someone smarter than me had been in the door before me. I couldn't allow that. And some people didn't like the websites I did for them, so they fired me and my company. And I had to explain to my new employees that so-and-so didn't like us, that the Wu-Tang Clan or HBO was unhappy, or whoever. I went to meetings in LA, in London, in Paris, and wherever to try to get more customers. I traveled all over the world trying to convince people to like me and let me help them do something I really believed in that I wanted to charge for. 18 months after doing this, I finally quit my job. And I was scared. My boss Bruce told me, at HBO, everyone returns your phone calls. When you leave here, nobody will return them. And he was right. It became a lot harder to get customers, except now I was full-time, which was good, but also bad. Now I had to make sure I had customers or else my baby on the way wouldn't have food. I could give up on food for a while, but not a baby. And my employees had to have food also. I had to get them food. Then we got an offer by someone who wanted to buy the company. I don't know a hamburger from a website, he told me, but websites are hot. But I doubted he wanted to buy the company. In the 6 months it took to negotiate and close the deal, I was scared every day. I lost 30 pounds. Then we sold the company, and then I helped buy 5 more companies. Suddenly I had 1,000 employees working for me. I was scared every day. I didn't know what to do. I doubted myself. I wasn't a very good boss. To conquer the doubt, I built up in the tiniest of increments. Even though I doubted the big picture, I chopped it down to tiny pieces that I knew I could fit into the puzzle to build the big picture. But it was hard. Every time it was hard, I built it into smaller and smaller pieces until finally I could do it. Doubt gave me the energy to list what I needed to do, to dream big, but to break it into tiny, small pieces. Doubt got me out of bed every morning. Doubt got me scared to make sure I took care of customers, employees, family, myself, usually in that order. Doubt turned me into a schemer. How can I juggle job, family, relationships, customers, and still do a good job at everything I was doing? Because my motto then, as it is now, is overpromise and overdeliver. If you don't overpromise and overdeliver, then your doubts will be replaced by loneliness, because someone else is overpromising and overdelivering. And everyone you loved, customers, employees, friends, family, have moved over to the person who let his or her doubt fuel his ambitions better than yours did. And then I left that job. I was too stressed. I doubted myself too much. I couldn't juggle it all. And I was right to do so. I lost all my money. I lost my home. I lost my family. I remember never sleeping, crying on a swing set behind a school at 4 a.m, wondering what I would do next, doubting that I should be alive. The doubt beat me. I built everything I wanted and achieved freedom for 5 generations, but lost it all. Okay, so what? Then I made it again. All of that doubt was for nothing. Except also the doubt led me to right now, where the waitress, who I love like a daughter, sister, lover, just poured me another cup of coffee as I write this. "You need to eat, James," she said. I'm not sure, but I think I will. You just listened to the post titled, "I Doubted Everything in My Life" by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com.
For more than a decade, Comcast has been committed to bridging the digital divide and connecting millions of Americans to affordable, high-speed internet. But the barriers to get connected go well beyond affordability. That's why Comcast has expanded its efforts through Project Up. Backed by a $1 billion commitment, Comcast is partnering with local community experts to build a network of digital navigators, individuals who help build awareness around initiatives like the government's Affordable Connectivity Program and teach digital skills to get more people online. Learn more at comcast.com/projectup.
Stoicism has been practiced by kings, presidents, entrepreneurs, and more. And Practical Stoicism is a podcast designed to go beyond the dense texts and help newcomers get comfortable with the practical aspects of the philosophy. Listening to Practical Stoicism is an incredible way to make a habit of self-reflection and constant learning. It's a breath of fresh air and a great way to press pause on the stress of your everyday life. I really enjoy this show and think you will as well. Find Practical Stoicism on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you to James. Always an interesting one. His style is very unique. What I got from this, there are pros and cons with doubt. It's not all bad. Like he did, we can use that doubt as a motivator to do better, to do more, you name it. It's like how a little fear can actually be a good thing. After all, fear and excitement have pretty much the same physiological responses in our bodies. But when that fear or doubt becomes too much, it can be crippling. It can paralyze us and really just cause all progress to stop in its tracks. Like pretty much everything in life, we have to maintain balance, the middle path. Otherwise, we'll get lost. For me with this podcast, I've always had a little bit of doubt, but I think that's a good thing. It keeps me on the edge, trying to make sure I do my best so that I can keep going as long as possible. But if I had too much doubt, well, I wouldn't believe in it and almost certainly would have given up in the past. After all, it took somewhere around a year before this podcast wasn't losing money every month. That caused doubt for sure. But there was still hope and some kind words of encouragement from listeners like you, which made all the difference. But even if you don't or didn't send in any words of encouragement, Simply listening every day is huge and what keeps me going. So thank you for being here. Couldn't do it without you. And with that, have a great rest of your day. And I'll be back tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.